Welcome to the Red Letter Newsletter, where you get grace and your shame gets gone. I'm Matthew Walker, your grace dealer for the Red Letter Newsletter, and today we discover what the Apostle Paul has to do with building skyscrapers and how grace changes everything. And when I was in engineering school, one of my classes discussed the safety standards put in place in the early days of building skyscrapers, where men would be walking on steel beams hundreds, thousands of feet in the air with no rope, no wire, no protection. And guess what? The managers of the construction companies had a formula for how many men would die for every floor they built of the skyscraper. And because they were losing all of these men, and due to the fact the men were scared to death they might die, they could not build a skyscraper efficiently and safely. So engineers came up with this ingenious plan. They placed a huge net underneath the skyscraper while it was being constructed, and when men would misstep and fall off the steel beam from thousands of feet in the air onto that net, they would bounce up, 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 and then all of a sudden this addition of that safety net actually allowed the workers to build the skyscraper at much more lightning speeds, because they could work more efficiently, because they were not afraid of dying from taking risks and taking chances. And so when we think about the Apostle Paul, he knew about the importance of grace. Just like that grace and that safety net allowed the men to work more efficiently, the grace of Jesus that forgives you for your hangovers, for your bouts of lust, for your bouts of unforgiveness, for your bouts of bitterness. The Apostle Paul had a saying, because he knew what you and I were thinking when he was talking about this grace of God that forgives every sin you've ever committed and every one you'll commit in the future. He says, look, where grace abounds, does sin increase? Goodness, no. In fact, righteousness grows healthier and more greater in the presence of grace. Because once you know that you are fully loved, you are fully valued, and you are fully empowered in the blood of Jesus Christ, and there's nothing that you can do that can kill your salvation, you become wholly committed to the person and relationship of Jesus Christ. When you know that he will pick you up when you fall, then you're willing to go the distance further. And so when you are attacked by shame, when you're walking the beams of life, and that shame of that one wrong decision begins to call you unloved, unequipped for heaven itself, here's what you recall. You recall the cross and the blood of Jesus Christ, and you remember that you were called forgiven. You were called loved. You were called a person with a future, and therefore do not let one trip up cause you to give up, because the grace of God is greater than your greatest sins. I ask that if you would like to experience the grace dealings every week, make sure you subscribe to this channel. If you don't want the voices of shame to win in your life, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to this channel. Thank you, and may the grace of Jesus be greater than the shame that calls you out.